welcome to everybody, by the way. This is Jeff. I'm with SpaBerry, and we're located in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, just a few hundred kilometers away. So when we do these Zoom meetings, we like to have a little fun with it because they're not a traditional Zoom meeting. In other words, I'm not going to be sitting here at a desk the whole time boring the hell out of you. We're going to take this out to where the spas are, get to the meat of the product, talk to you about the product, tell you about it, and get you kind of indoctrinated into it. So if everybody's ready, I'm just going to get up and you can follow me into the warehouse, okay? Follow me. How you doing, everybody? This is where all the magic happens. What we do a lot out here are all of our product videos, advertising videos, and so on and so forth. If you haven't seen them, don't worry about it because I'm going to be contacting every one of you. At the end of this, we're not going to be having this big, long, drawn-out question-answer period. So while you're watching this, if you have questions, write them down because I'm going to personally email every one of you. I'll give you my contact details, and then I'll have personal conversations with each and every one of you and answer all your questions personally. So we find it just better that way because that way I can take all your questions and all the answers we've given and send them out to everybody. So the very first thing you're going to notice with SpaBerry is we package them a little bit differently than we do a normal hot tub, right? They come in a beautiful giant gift wrap box. So, by the way, Christmas is still coming up, you know. They haven't canceled Christmas yet. They've canceled a lot of things, but not Christmas. So, to mom, from dad and the kids, Merry Christmas, right? It could be Happy New Year. It could be Happy Valentine's Day, Happy Mother's Day. We started doing this 15 years ago, and it is priceless. People come into the showroom, see this box, and they're drawn to it. They don't know what the hell is this. That's the biggest gift that they're ever going to buy their spouse, or their kids, or their mom, or their dad, for Mother's Day, Father's Day. And the beauty of it is at Christmas time, they're just going to need a bigger tree, right? So come on with me. The box arrives to you guys like that. And when you take it out of the box, all you need to do is cut the straps, slide the box off, lay it down, fill it with a hose pipe, plug it into the wall. They've installed a hot tub. Everything we did with SpaBerry, because I'm not sure if many of you know, but this is my 32nd year in the hot tub business. And in 32 years, I've sold a lot of hot tubs, big ones, small ones, swim spas, everything. The reason we brought SpaBerry out 15 years ago was a demand for something smaller. Over here, we have a lot of condo business, townhome business, high-rise business, and we didn't have anything that would fit on the decks, on the patios. We also had a lot of customers who had had a big spa before. In fact, the bulk of our customers are people who have owned a big hot tub before. And what we did before we even built one was we asked a bunch of people, and when I say a bunch, I'm talking about 517 people to fill out a survey. Now, our survey wasn't, heavy on questions. It was 2 questions, so really scientific. If I build a small spa, what do you want in it? And more importantly, what don't you want in it? Because you know what? Customers will tell you what they like, and more importantly, they're going to tell you what you don't like. So we thought, why not go to the source, the people who are looking for something small and ask them. So you know what they told us? They said they wanted something small, but they didn't want it to have a wood side, a fabric side. They didn't want a fake wood side. They didn't want a wood side. They wanted something that was short enough from here to the ground, and this measures 29 inches, and on its side, it'll go through a standard doorway. Why was that important? That was important so that we could get this through doors, going up in high-rise decks, through skinny doors, out onto a patio, overlooking the city. It measures 7'8" long, 92 inches long, and we'll have this all in metric for you. I'm just not that conversant in it. But they're short enough to go into a freight elevator. Now, that's our space constraints here. People were also looking for a smaller one because when they had a big spa before, you know what we all sold them on in the industry? And you know this because you sell big spas. The whole family's going to be in it, right? You're going to have your friends, your neighbors, everybody's going to be in this hot tub. Well, over the years, what happens is the family of five, the kids start growing up and they're sitting on their phones, texting, they're on their tablets, they're doing stuff with their friends. They've got a million activities and they're not home all at the same time anymore. So what ended up happening is they had this big hot tub. They loved the big hot tub, but literally there was 1 to 2 people ever in it at a given time. Now, when the kids moved on, mom and dad are going, hey, we're moving. They've moved to a smaller space in the back garden, right? They might still have a big house, but they've got a smaller space. Or they still have a large space, but they go, you know what? Why are we heating all of that water? Why are we using all of that energy? And we're going to talk about energy today because that's a big deal globally right now with what's going on in the world. So what we found is people said, give me something small, something that can go through a door, something that can go up in an elevator, something that can fit in my small space, my garden, my patio. We have people that have conservatories, so they've got a gazebo. They want us to put something in there. And when they realized there was only 1 or 2 of them ever in it, they got wise and said, you know what, second time round, or maybe the third time round they were buying a hot tub, they didn't keep going bigger. They're now going smaller. So we recognized that, but we got the information not from just what we were thinking. We got the information direct from the horse's mouth, the consumer. I believe you got to listen to the customer and what they want because what they want is important. And the other thing they wanted from us with this, they didn't want us to build a cheap product. They wanted something high-end, something that looked different, something that looked beautiful, and it was just different than everything else out there on the market. And quite frankly, when we were first starting to build this, when people were saying to us, well, I don't want wood, I don't want fabric like a soft tub, I don't want, fake wood, fake rock. We were going, what the heck are we going to build this up? Then we started thinking, wait a minute, the shell of a hot tub is the strongest part of any hot tub. It holds the weight of the water and it holds the weight of the people. So instead of cutting it off here, throwing away the rest of the acrylic, you know what we do? We vacuum form this into one solid piece of seamless acrylic. We call this a unibody construction. Now, the beauty of that is there's no seams in here. There's no air gaps. Down the road, boards can tend to separate a little bit. That doesn't happen. When you have a seamless exterior, guess what? Cold air can't enter it and hot air can't leave it. Quite often, it's not about how much it costs to run the hot tub or how much it costs to heat the hot tub. Can you keep the heat? So that's what we focused on with this because one of the things people kept coming to us was, listen, I love my big hot tub, but it costs me a lot of money. And energy keeps going up every year. That word energy is the big deal right now. So people are going, whatever I spend my hard-earned money on, I want to make sure that I can afford it. With SpaBerry, we call this the cost of ownership. To be more specific, the total cost of ownership. When you're talking to a customer and they're looking at a spa, whether it's SpaBerry or one of the larger spas you carry, it's a lot of money. Whether they're spending $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000, they're buying a swim spa for $16,000 or $20,000, it's a lot of money. They worked hard for that money, and we have to respect that. So buying a product is just the cost of the purchase. But what does it cost to deliver it? What does it cost to service it? What does it cost in energy? What does it cost in maintenance? And what is their time worth, right? So that's what we focus on with SpaBerry. On the inside walls of the tub, okay, this is fully foamed all the way around the sides. The bottom is also insulated all the way around. We have an empty area here where all of your equipment is on the inside. All of the heat from the motor in there creates in that space, in that dead air space, and it's concentrated. So it focuses that heat transfer through the wall of the tub right into the body of water. So We have dead airspace, no different than what you might see on the big spas that you're selling, right? But we focused it on a small area. So the energy efficiency is extremely phenomenal because we concentrate the heat in here, not around the cavity, force it back into the hot tub. So our hot tub isn't coming on as often as it normally would if I was heating something that was 600 gallons. Now let's talk about this for a second. We all know that if you got 600 gallons of water or 500 gallons of water or 400 gallons of water versus 125 gallons of water, it's going to cost you less money to heat less water, right? It's just a math equation at the end of the day. But again, back to my point, you've got to be able to retain the heat. So we start with that unibody construction, then we full foam insulate it so that nothing is escaping the unit. And then probably the biggest thing that we look at is the cover of the hot tub. We all hate covers on hot tubs until we end up having to sell another one to somebody because that's how we make money. Not a bad thing. But when a customer gets a cover, the challenge for years on covers is that seam in the middle, right? On a regular cover, you flip it over, goes over a bar, and what happens? The seam wears out over time. Every time you put that bar, the cover over the bar, we're stretching the threads that are in that seam. And now the threads open up a little bit, moisture slowly over time starts to migrate into the core of the cover. Now the customer's got what? Wet insulation. Well, wet insulation means you have no insulation. So you can have the best insulated spa, a unibody construction, but if I had that design here, and now I'm not insulating the cover, my energy bill, my customer's energy bill is going to go up. In Canada, where that cover meets here and there, we get to 40 below here. And what happens is you could be in your home and look out in your garden, and in the middle of winter, you'll see steam coming out the sides. Now, of course, we say to them, well, we've got a heat seal gasket in there. Well, that, during the the colder it is, it condenses and it opens up a gap. You'll see steam coming out the sides of your hot tub. When people see that, that means it's costing them more money to run their hot tub because the hot tub has to run harder more often to run the water past the heater, get it back up to temperature, right? So because of the SpaBerry being such a small footprint, we get away with a one-piece cover. So I don't have any heat loss out of the cover. Because it's one piece, when you go to grab it, it creates a vacuum seal on the cover. Okay? Make sense? Okay, now come on upstairs here. This is into our show trailer. We're talking about some other things directly about the product. This is one of the trailers that we take out to trade shows, events, all over Canada. Now there's 4 different models of SpaBerries. We designate them as SB3, SB4, SB5, and SB6. Now in SB3, and I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but I'll run over them quickly. An SB3 is going to have 8 jets, then an SB4, you're going to go 12 jets, an SB5 and 6. This is the 5 and the 6. They both have 16 jets, okay? As you go up or down the price ladder, you're going to be adding more things as you go, more lights, more power. All of them are going to have LED lights. The larger jets on everything that we're supplying you have LED lit jets. Okay, the larger ones, the smaller ones are not. All of them are going to have cup holders. All of them are going to have waterfalls. And they're all the same build quality. On the interior, the framework is all tubular stainless steel frames. So there's no wood in there, no pressure treated lumber. On the inside of the equipment door, all of the equipment doors are on hand bolts, okay? So you don't have to get a screw gun or a screwdriver, neither does your customer, to get a door off. Inside the door, there's a few special things. That's where your drain bib is, so a customer could hook their hose pipe up to it and gravity drain their tub, okay? Also in here is what we call Berry Glide. You'll notice everything that we do with SpaBerry is branded with berry, okay? So if it's even something like a color, this is called beluga berry, this is called strawberry. But inside that door, we have what's called a Berry Glide retractable drawer. And what that means to you and me is we talk about serviceability. One of the things, going back to the questionnaire, the customer said to us, Look, I'm nowhere near a service center. Last time I had my big spa, it took them forever to come out here. Why can't you guys make it simpler for us to take care of it ourselves? And we thought that was a great idea. And a customer came to me and told me this great idea. He said, why don't you make the equipment on a retractable drawer? And I'm sitting there going, that's a hell of an idea. So 2 weeks later, we had it in a spa. So when you take that door off, inside there's two isolation valves. You push those down, it isolates the water in the plumbing and the spa from the gear. There's one hand bolt in there, hand screw, you undo it, and you undo two of the unions so that you've separated everything. The entire equipment's going to come out 2 feet. Now your pump, your heater, your control box, right? Your total lower control is all in front of you. 3 parts, everything's plug and play. Now the customer doesn't know what's going on with their spa. They have an issue. We've made it so that they can do the service. We have a QR code on the top side of our controls. Now what happens when the customer gets onto that QR code, it takes them to a landing page where that goes to our website, and they can fill out an e-service form. We can contact them. In the case here, Superior Wellness is going to contact them and figure out what it is. They can ship the part out to the customer with a video on how to pop it in and out, and with a PDF, picture by picture, how to pop it in and out. In Canada, we're very much more widespread, of course, than you are in England. You know, our land mass is huge. So we'll get somebody that'll buy one, and I mean, they're not 1 hour from the service center. They can be 5 or 6 hours from the service center. The beauty, too, is if you're going out to service something, guess what? It's simpler. You're in and out without having to drain the hot tub. Remove the part that's wrong, put the new part in. You're in and out on a service call in 30 minutes. So that we call Berry Glide. It's just simpler and it's easier, okay? One of the biggest things when people see these in your showroom is that it looks different, right? They're drawn to it. And I kind of chuckle because when I was selling big spas for years, we would be out on, in the aisle trying to drag them in to see the big spas, and we're doing our best and getting them in and so on. This is like eye candy. People, when they walk into your showroom, you're going to laugh, but they just come and they're drawn to it. Now, one of the things they go is they can't believe what it looks like, because it looks different than anything else you've got. Now, the beauty of carrying this along with what you've got is this is one of those missing pieces of the puzzle. If you've got customers that, like I say, have been on there, they've already had 1, 2, or 3 hot tubs, and they're going, you know what, kids are gone, it's just the 2 of us. We just want this. We don't want to party in the hot tub anymore. We don't care sharing our water. We don't want to do that anymore. We want something smaller. You've got it. That's the key. You've got the thermal spas, you got your platinum range, you got your OEMs, you got your swim spas, you got everything. Now this is that final piece of the puzzle that's going to fit in more gardens that maybe you haven't been able to fit before. When somebody comes up here and they go, how do I get into this thing? Well, on the SB5, you've got a step on either side of the doorway that is inset into the wall of the spa. On the SB6, it's the same. On the SB4 and the SB3, they're not there. But you don't have to worry, because this here, the bar top down to the bottom, is 29 inches, which is bar chair height. And I know none of you have been to the pub lately or anything like that on a bar stool, but that's about the same height. You sit on the edge, leg over, and you're in the hot tub. Now, when you see me get in here, these are a lot roomier and a lot bigger than you think. Now, on the SB5, the ends are raised up here. We call this a SpaBerry headrest because it's fitting your skull. It takes the weight of your head off your neck. When you're in here, you're not tucked into small area. And think about this. You sell an 8-foot by 8-foot spa, right? That sits how many people? 7? You got 7 people in there, each with 2 legs, right? That means there's 14 legs in there, 7 bodies, 14 arms, in a space that's twice this big. So the room per person in these is incredible. And what we love to tell people is, listen, we build these for 2 large adults. Because something I've noticed over the years, and I know Graham can attest to this, right, Graham? We're not getting smaller, we're getting bigger the older we get. So, when you get a little wider, you're carrying a little bit more weight, maybe you're getting elderly. That's what this is about. And the one thing we always focus on too when we're talking to customers, you know what business we're in? We're in the best business in the world. I truly believe that when we sell a hot tub, I don't care what hot tub you sell, you know what? We're changing somebody's life for the better. That's the beauty of the job we have. We get to change their life. When somebody buys, whether it's a SpaBerry or anything else in your range, they get home, they start soaking, and guess what? Those aches and pains are gone, right? They're taking away all that arthritic pain, the joint pain, the hip pain, fibromyalgia pain, all of it. And that's what we sell. You should be excited as hell when anybody walks into your store because you've got anything possible within the range from SpaBerry up to your biggest swim spa. You've got something for everybody. What we focus on, though, is the hot water, the jet placement, and what this is going to do for your body. Because it doesn't matter. Price, by the way, is never an issue with our clients. And you know what? Price is not an issue in the presence of overwhelming value, right? So if you haven't told them everything about your hot tubs that you're selling, price is an issue. But in the presence of overwhelming value, price is not an issue. We get people all the time that come to us and they say, my God, are you kidding me? That's the same price as a big one. I can buy a big one for that. You know what we say? Yes, you can. But is that what you want? Is that what you need? What we talk to people about is their health. What do they want? What do they want to spend? And by the way, if this is the same price as a big one, that's again the cost of purchase, not the cost of ownership, right? You can buy anything in the world, but that's the cost of the purchase. You can buy an automobile, but if it costs more in petrol than another one, which one over the long run costs less? That's what we talk about here. Now, 3 things are critically important to a customer, and especially those people who have bought a spa before. And I'm sure you've heard this. The next time they come in after they've bought a big spa or any hot tub they've ever had, you say, what did you like about the last hot tub you had and what didn't you like, right? Well, the list of what they liked is about this long usually, and the list of what they didn't like was this long. And we always ask that question because as professional sales athletes, which is what every one of you here is, every one of you is a professional sales athlete. Our job is to find out what they want, not what we want. We know what we want to sell, but we've got to fit them into the right product, right? So what's important to them? Quick question on why we ask every time we ask this, right? What did you not like about your previous hot tub? And so many of them tell us the same thing. I hate the maintenance. I hated, how much water it took, how much energy it took. And now that's culminating. It comes back to this energy word today, right? So we decided what's important. You know the only thing that's truly important when you own a hot tub? You work really hard all day, and you come home and you lift that spa cover at the end of the day. And you know what? That water had better look good, it better smell good, and it better be the temperature you like, right? And if it's a work project, you're going to hate your hot tub. People said to us, can't you make it easier? I hated going out here every week trying to figure this thing out. And you know what we do as hot tub dealers, right? Oh, we'll have a chemistry class for you, right? Come on in. We get them all in and we teach them water chemistry and everything else. And then 6 weeks later, they got another problem. We've made it simpler. Now, come on down. We're going to show you the running model. Show you how we take care of the water. Because it's important. And by the way, this one here, this is the SP5, #1 seller we have. But this is running. I'll just shut off. Let me just turn it back on for a second. Sean, can you go in there and just right up to the equipment? I hope you're hearing that because that's how loud this SpaBerry is when it's filtering. Right? We have acoustical foam insulation in it. It's a sound deadening foam. And the importance of that is, over here, we've become commercial grade. Now, commercial grade over here in North America means I can go on high-rise decks because your wall from one neighbor to another is right like this. And the spa could be sitting out on this deck, this patio, right next to each other, and you've got to be under 30 decibels, which we are. So during a filtration cycle, that's how loud the hot tub is with the cover up. Now, go to high speed. Sean, bring it in. You'll notice one thing. I don't have to yell at you to talk to you, right? They're quiet. So now when you take your cover off, and by the way, no different than a large spa, right? You've got your cover clips. You can attach these to the side of the spa, clip them in with a key turn. With a SpaBerry, leave them attached on the back side. We haven't attached these. You can leave them attached on the back side, so when somebody comes up and lifts this, the actual straps will support the weight of the cover. So you don't need to buy a cover. We're here, just gonna turn this back and have a look, right? Now there's two valves on the top, which you didn't see on the ones up top there, those ones up top and this one over here. Those, the one beside us, by the way, that SB6 is 6 years old, okay? The ones up top are 7 years old. This one is brand new. This is being manufactured through Superior Wellness. We have two valves now instead of one. This valve up front is going to control your waterfall. The valve here is going to control your air. So we call it a variable speed valve, but you know it's an air induction. So we're introducing more air into the jets. We're not moving the power from one side to the other. We're just increasing the amount of air going into the water. So you've got a low speed pump, right? You've got high speed, and then you can increase your air. Lots of volume of water. Because after all, at the end of the day, it's all about the massage, right? One of the coolest things about these guys is it's not just sometimes about sitting in hot water. It's about what's happening to your body inside the water. Come on over here, John. I want to show you guys something, and ladies. On the interior of the spas, you're going to see something that's unique and different than what you've seen before. These are raised bumps. We call them berry massage nodules. Now, on my original SpaBerry, we had them on the floor just for our feet to rub on. Then one day I'm at a trade show and I sell on to a truck driver, and the guy says to me, "Hey, I've got those beaded seat backs in my truck that relieve tension in my body. They're like a shiatsu massage thing." And I go, well, that's a hell of an idea. So on my SB3, I put them in the back and I put them on the floor. People get in there and they're just rubbing up against them, or they're just sitting back against them. Why truck drivers and taxi drivers have these is because it increases blood flow. It keeps them alert, because when you've got blood flow going, you're not falling asleep at the wheel, but your body is getting massaged at the same time. So we thought, this is a great idea, this little shiatsu idea. So on the SB3 base model, they're on the floor and the back. You go into an SB4, they're going to be on the floor, the back, and your bum. When you get into the SB5, there's more of them. And when you get into the SB6, they're everywhere. And the beauty is it goes from 1,500 massage nodules on a base model, SB3, to an SB4, you got 4,000, then you go up to 10,000, then you go up to 12,000. This is also, knowledge is power, right? We have to know everything the customer's looking for in a hot tub, but more importantly, the customer's got to know everything that we have in the hot tub, because we've got to justify the purchase price of the hot tub, because it's their hard-earned money. It's coming out of their wallet, their purse, to buy their spa. But at the end of the day, they want clean water, right? Because you can have all the massage nozzles, you can have all the jets, you can have all the lights, you can have a stereo, you can have a TV. If you lift that cover on the spa, and that water doesn't look good, doesn't smell good, isn't the temperature you like, you're not getting in cold, dirty, or smelly water. Nobody's going to. And if it's a work project, they're going to hate it. Every SpaBerry, come on over here, Sean. You look down here, that's where your filter is, right? No different than what you've got now. And the nice thing with that is every 30 days, you're going to pull that out and you're going to give it a rinse with a garden hose, right? Inside here, this is on all the new ones. This you've seen before, unscrews there. And inside, we have a tea bag of what is called Berry Pure. And everybody goes, well, what the hell is that? Well, it's marijuana. No, I'm just kidding. we kind of chuckle because everybody we have them at trade shows. We go, well, what do you think that is? And they're always saying marijuana, or they're saying food or something, right? And we all chuckle. What this does is this comes to you guys in a very thin wafer, and we put it inside this netted tea bag, and then when the water goes to it, it expands to 5 times its size. So the beauty of it is, this is an all-natural plant that comes out of New Zealand moss bogs. Now I know way too much about moss now. There's over 10,000 species of moss on the planet. All moss in the planet has a natural antibacterial property to it. When this is in water, the New Zealand moss is the most potent antibacterial plant there is. When it's in water, it does a few things. The first thing is it inhibits the growth of bacteria, fungus, yeast molds, or algae in water. If you've ever seen or felt inside a spa, the film that can build up on the inside wall of a hot tub, that slippery slime, that's biofilm. That's colonies of bacteria that are very hard to get rid of. What do? We feel that and it's gross, and we get a cloth and the customer wipes it off and they think it's gone. If you've got biofilm there, you've got biofilm on the inside of your plumbing, you've got biofilm on your heater, and it's actually what can cause rust to happen and corrode your heater, corrode your pump shafts, and destroy your equipment over an extended period of time. In the presence of the moss, that doesn't happen. It doesn't grow. Now, when we're in a hot tub, and this is what we say to everybody, you got to remember, you got 2 people in a body of water, you got 8 people in a body of water. Every 30 minutes that you're in a body of water, or less, you lose 1 pint of body fluid through perspiration. That's the healthy aspect of being in a hot tub. We're purging toxins out of our body. But where do they go? They go in the water, right? And then you know what we do? We get out of the hot tub, we've had our soak, put the cover on, walk away. Now it's dark, it's moist, it's warm, it's a breeding ground. In the presence of the moss, bacteria does not proliferate and grow. Because of that, we're not having to add as much sanitizer. So you're still going to add a tablespoon of chlorine a week, or bromine, your choice, right? But a tablespoon of chlorine once a week. Nice thing with that is, in 125 gallons of water, that's less parts per million than what you're going to have in a glass of drinking water out of the tap. Bottom line, your customer doesn't smell like chemical when they leave the hot tub. We think that's really beneficial. Now, the other thing, and everybody's water is different. You know that all throughout England, you can have pockets of areas, your pH rides high, it's low, you got harder water, you got softer water. Everything's different. Over in Canada, we got a lot of hard water areas. Moss naturally absorbs minerals out of the water. I'm on an acreage, I've got a well, I've got manganese, copper, and sulfur and iron. It's terrible. We call it the trifecta of hell. Within about 72 hours, this has absorbed all the minerals out of the water. Now, the beauty of that is I'm bathing in soft water. My skin's not dry and itchy when I get out. My wife doesn't have to lotion up. It's wonderful, right? Plus, I eliminate that hard water ring that can appear around the inside wall of the hot tub. This is exactly how I'm talking to you, how I talk to a customer, right? It's simple, it's an easy presentation, but it's important that they know what they have to do. So people who have owned a hot tub before, they go, well, this sounds simpler. And I go, well, let me break it down for you. Every 30 days, you're going to open this, throw the contents out on the lawn, the trees, the shrubs. It's a plant. It's biodegradable, compostable, or you can throw it in the garbage, right? It's a plant. So every 30 days, you're going to throw a new one in. Every 30 days, you're going to clean your filter. That takes 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of work once a month out of your whole work schedule. Once a week, you're going to open your cover, turn your jets on high speed, sprinkle some chlorine in here, a tablespoon. Once a week, took you 10 seconds. Every 6 months, we want you to drain your hot tub and refill your hot tub, right? Simple, easy. Everything we want to do for somebody is easy. From how it starts with a box, it's easy to ship, it's easy to deliver, it's easy for the customer to pick it up themselves, it's easy for them to take it home. They've got access to a lorry, they take it home, they take it into the back garden, empty, it's 290 pounds. You're not having to crane things in. You can get through narrow spaces, you can go up in elevators, easy to deliver. When they move, very seldom we're finding people are moving a big spa anymore. They sell it with the house. Well, they really don't sell it with the house, right? They give it away with the house. Well, I'll buy your house if you throw the hot tub in. Or the guy doesn't want the big hot tub anymore. He says, please take the hot tub. I'm moving. I'm going to buy a new one, right? So he makes no money on the old hot tub. He doesn't want to crane it over the house to get it out to get to the next house. With a SpaBerry, they take it with them. They don't lose their initial investment. So portability is a big deal. They may want it, if they do have a back garden that's very large, they may want this closer to the home in the winter. They may want it down by their pool in the summer or whatever they've got. They can move it, right? If I'm here, it's not hard to move, right? All of the weight is in the front. I pick it up from the back, I put a four-wheel dolly down, put it like this upright, and I roll it into the trade show. That's how we get them in and out. One person can take a SpaBerry inside and out of the trade show. So it's all about simplicity, right? Comes in a gift wrap box. And by the way, inside that box, on the top and the bottom, there's a cardboard cradle that supports the weight of the hot tub and keeps it centered in the box. So you can put the box on any side, it does not matter. You cannot damage it. In all of the years that we've been building and shipping SpaBerries, we've never had freight damage unless some idiot drove a forklift through it. And that's just dumb, right? So, but if it's just being moved and bounced around and everything, no damage, okay? We over package what we build. Why is that important? SpaBerry is a home appliance, not a hot tub. It's a home appliance, we say, of the 21st century. Everybody has a refrigerator in their home, a range or a stove. They have a microwave. They might have a dishwasher. They've got a washer and dryer for their clothes. Now they have an appliance for their body, something that takes care of those aches and pains, something that helps them sleep better, something that's portable that they can move to the next home, something that plugs in, and it looks cool. This does have the cool factor. It doesn't look like a big box full of jets. It's got a little sex appeal to it, right? And that's the beauty of this. We're not selling something that everybody else has. It's a little bit more unique, a little bit different, but at the end of the day, our job is one thing and one thing only, and that's to sell somebody a hot tub today. Not tomorrow, not next month, not next year, today. Well, we've got to have something that they may be looking for. This may be a segment of the market, especially over in the UK, where you've got a lot of places where people can't fit some of the bigger stuff you sell. This is going to be unique enough and cute enough and does everything that a big spa does, only does it in a smaller package, okay? So we love to make it easy for the customer from the time they get it to the time they start filling it, to the time they start having to do their maintenance, to the time they have to move it, right? Easy is the key. It's easy to buy, it's easy to own, it's easy to maintain, it's easy to ship. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But when you present it properly, it's easy to sell because people get it. And it's not the price of the product, it's the cost of ownership, right? So if you're buying something like this for $5,000 and you can sell them a big spa for $5,000, but they don't have room for the big spa, it doesn't really matter. You know what's funny? The guy said to me the other day, he comes in and he says, he's looking at his spa and we're looking at these and he goes, on my last spa, I've got my iPhone here I have an app that I could turn the water temperature up and down. I can check my pH, all this stuff, cool stuff, right? And he says, how come you don't do that? And I said, well, I said, it's kind of funny, but I can't imagine being on vacation worrying about what the temperature of my water is, right? When I leave home, I'm just going to leave it where it's at. My point being here is that there's a million things you can sell people. If you want to get into the jet war with people, the pump war with people, the feature war with people, it all comes down to what? The price, right? They're not buying a spa for the amount of jets, although we may think that. When somebody comes up and they have a price objection, don't be afraid of it. I love when somebody starts talking about price, and you should too. And the reason is they're already negotiating. Oh, we're already at the price. I love it. We're not leaving it to the end. Don't be afraid of price. Don't be afraid of anything, because you're selling them something different, something unique, something that's got features, benefits in this product that's going to solve their problem. They've got a small area. It doesn't matter how much it is. Really, what matters is not how much it is to buy, how much it is to own. The total cost of ownership, right? Over here in Canada, it's a little bit different, I'm sure. But when we sell a big spa over here, the actual cost of running a big hot tub in the winter here is anywhere from $80 to $120 a month. SpaBerry is $18 a month. 1/5, right? 1/4, depending on who you're comparing to. Well, that's the cost of ownership. Now let's just think about this for a second. If you start doing the math, let's just round it up to $20 for easy math for me. That's $240 a year in energy, right? $240 a year. That's here. And by the way, the math is going to be the same everywhere you go, because you're going to be heating more water, you're going to be taking care of more water, maintaining more water, etc. And energy is a big deal. And more often than not, it's coming up today. So if I've only got 125 gallons of water to heat, and because of the weight insulated, because of the unibody construction, because we concentrate all of the heat in here and move it into the spa, we have a lower energy bill. Lower energy bill is the key. $20 a month versus $80, $100 a month, right? So if I'm $20 a month and I'm $240 a year, and in 10 years, that's how much? $2,400, right? If somebody is $80 a month, okay, do the math. That's $9,600 over 10 years. $9,600. We're just talking about energy difference. And nobody wants to talk about that, right? Somebody comes in and we say, well, the spa will only cost you this. This has one pump versus the guy who's selling the big spa. It's the same price, but he's selling a big spa with 3 pumps. 3 pumps are going to cost more to run than 1 pump. Heating 500-600 gallons is going to cost more than 125 gallons. People aren't stupid. They're not dumb. So when they start looking at this, they go, and you start doing the math for them. So each one costs $5,000, right? But over 10 years of ownership, this one costs another $2,400 in energy. This one may have cost $9,600 in energy, right? As you start looking at this, and how much more chemical? Does it take more chemical maintenance on larger body of water, smaller body of water? Obviously more. So when we're selling this and trying to justify the price, it's not just the price of the purchase. It's the price and the cost of ownership over the length of time you're going to have the hot tub. The other thing is, we build these and test them here to minus 72 Celsius. They're what we call certified premium built. Now, you don't get that cold over there. And, most of the time here, the coldest we get, maybe minus 45, minus 50. But over here, we build them for extreme climates. Price is not an issue ever when you explain the value of not just what you're purchasing, but the low cost of energy. And we know energy is a massive, massive deal right now. We're hearing what's going on over there. It's happening here too. We've got people shutting off hot tubs and not using them because they've got a big hot tub, right? And they can't afford that monthly bill anymore. They're trying to put, food on the table and gas in the car. That's more important than maybe sitting in their hot tub. But more than ever today, people are hurting, they're stressed out, they need a hot tub. So anybody coming in to your showroom or when we're marketing with you, guess what? It's really critically important to have something that you don't already have. And that's what the offering of SpaBerry is about. And that's what we've talked to Superior Wellness about. We're very proud to be a partner of theirs and hope to be a partner of yours. And with that, right now, guys, I'm going to sign off and we're going to get you all your information. I'm going to email you guys. I've already got all your info. I'll personally email you, ask you for your questions. You'll have personal contact with me and you can contact me anytime. Text is great because I can text information right back to you. I'm on WhatsApp. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm everywhere. Okay? So thanks for your attention today, and I really appreciate the opportunity. Hope you had some fun.